Hello everyone, this is Theresa. You aren't going to see me, I will talk to you guys, but the video camera is set up so you guys can see my hands while I work. If at any point I cut out, I apologize. The internet was kind of finicky today. This is my first attempt at a live video doing a tutorial, so if it's not a very good one. Okay, so this here is the crane. In Japanese, it's a tsuru. It's the good luck charm of Japan. It's the first one I'm going to teach you guys because it's kind of the one that gives you a bit of everything when you fold. So as you learn the folds for this, the other ones become easier to do. Also because it is the traditional Japanese symbol for peace. So I like to do this one all the time, do this one literally blindfolded. Friends and family can contest to that. So I'll show you the finished product just so you have an idea what it looks like. And when you fold it, it's gonna come up and it's gonna actually look squishy like this. And we're gonna unsquish it later so that it comes out and looks nice and flat like this. And then we're actually going to do a bunny rabbit as well, because the bunny rabbit is super cute, and it's also super easy. So this is a great one for, kids of all ages as well. So this one here, you're going to need a pair of scissors, or a sharp knife, but I prefer scissors, just because we have to make one little cut. But the rest of it is just folds, so you can see it's nice and easy. So we're going to do those two today. And over the week, I'll try and show you some other ones. So this one here is a medallion, which you can actually make into a ball by making 6 of these, or you can put them with Mac Tack and you can actually make coasters. So this is kind of a cool project. We have a pinwheel, and if you put it on a pin and then stick it to a straw or stick, you can actually make it into a pinwheel and it will spin, which is kind of cool. So as you can see, it's kind of spinny. And then we have this cute little turtle. So I'm going to show you how to make that as well. And then some of the very similar moves that we make to make the turtle, you can actually make the samurai helmet, which is the kabuto. So this one here, and if you make it with wrapping paper or newspaper, you can actually make it big enough to fit your head. And as a challenge, I think if anybody makes this with me, they should make it as big as they can so it fits on their head, and then take a picture and send it so I can see who you guys did. And this one here, very similar. There's only a couple moves that make it different, but here we have a fish. And then the last one is the ball. You can make a balloon. So this one is also really fun. If you make it bigger, you can actually make it big enough. And if you make it nice and sturdy, you can actually hit it around the house and it won't break anything. Here's hoping. And I forgot all about this one. This one's a really cool one. It's a star-shaped box, and if you use paper with 2 colors on like double-sided, you can actually see the color on the outside and then the color on the other side as well. If you use plain paper, if you don't have double-sided paper like I do, you can glue 2 pieces together, let it dry, and then you have double-sided paper. So that's just a little introduction. You can use pretty much any kind of paper. Origami paper obviously is designed for origami. This here is about 6 inches. It's a good width. Like, you don't want it too big unless you're making a hat, because that gets really hard to work with. So I'm just gonna give you that. So we got kind of cool paper, and it's double-sided obviously. And a friend of mine gave me this, so I'm not really sure where I got it, but you can get it at all the craft stores. You can get lots of paper. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is, if you're only working with one color, always have it face down so that you actually have the color down, because otherwise it'll end up being on the inside of your design. As you do this, when you're doing your folds, the tighter, the more you push down on the fold as you fold it, the better it will be, and the more it will stay in the position it's in. And you want them nice and tight, so take your time and make sure the creases are folded together and do everything at the same time. And you're going to hear some weird terms like hamburger fold and a hot dog fold. I like to keep them fun. So the first thing we're going to do is the crane. And we're going to take our piece of paper. We're going to keep it color side down, obviously. And we're going to fold it. Hang on one second here. Sorry. We're going to fold it in half into a triangle. So take your fold. And the easiest way to do this is on a table. But I can do this with blindfolds. So doing it in the air is kind of the simple thing to do as well. So you'll see I did the fold, make sure the corners are meeting up together right here, so there's nothing overlapping. Push down, make sure your crease is nice, and then we're going to fold it in half into a smaller triangle. And we're going to do the same thing, make sure the nice crease, because the tighter the crease, the less likely it'll fall apart later. So you want to do that second crease nice and tight. And then we're going to unfold it so that it's like this. And we're going to put our finger in the mouth and we're going to make it look like it's biting us. So you see that? And we're going to fold it down and it actually turns from a triangle down into a square, which is kind of cool. So if you ever want to learn geometric shapes, origami is the best way to do it. So we're going to take that, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you see like this, we're going to put your finger in the mouth, and quick, get your finger out before it bites you. And we're going to fold it down nice and tight. And remember, always make sure your creases are nice and tight. So now you're going to end up with kind of a little froggy mouth looking thing. Alright, so when you're going to do, make sure the frog mouth is facing you, and we're going to put this in a triangle, but only halfway. So you can't see it on here because it's just kind of not the best lighting, but you can see where it folds here. So you're only going into the middle. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So it'll end up being, kind of looks like a kite. So you got like that. And then we're going to flip it over. And what you do to one side, you always do to the other on an origami design. So we're going to fold it in the middle here. And we're going to do the other side. Right. So we went from a square to a triangle. Now we're into a kite shape. So we're going to push this here. And we're going to fold it over, just to give us a line, a little crease, and we're going to let go. And then what we want to do is fold this, and we're going to open the frog mouth and make a big yawn. And it's kind of funny that I chose red as the inside, because if you look at the inside of a mouth, it's red. I totally didn't do that on purpose, but if you think I did, then I'll take a yes on that. So you want to fold it down, and it gets a little weird when you try and open it. So go nice and gentle, and then it'll open up into a big kind of a triangle. And then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing. So the line here that we already folded, we're going to unfold it, right? And just nice and carefully pull this back, and you'll see the line here. So we're going to fold it back on itself. And the first time is always the trickiest one. And once you do this a couple times, these folds are really easy. And there you go. And I'm just going to push down, make sure my creases are nice and tight. And make sure everything's nice and folded down. And then now you see there's two little legs. Always make sure the legs are folded down. And then we're going to do this. we're going to take this leg and we're going to make it half the width. So we're going to make it nice and skinny. Kind of like a chicken leg. So it's nice and short, nice and narrow, nice and short. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Always. And then we're going to, guess what? We're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So look how it got really narrow. See, that's the first one. This is the second side, so it's nice and narrow. And then we're going to do that to the last one here. So it's nice and narrow. So it's a super long. And we still have our legs. Now they're just little chicken legs, nice and thin. And the last two steps, we're almost done. Look at that. So quick. We're going to take the leg, and we're going to put our finger in between these. And what you're going to do is gently pull it upside down. Like you're lifting your leg up against your head. And once it's on the inside, we're going to fold these together. So the leg almost disappears. So all you can see is just a little bit of the leg, right? Right there. And then we're going to do the same thing. So just nice and gently lift this leg all the way up. And then fold it in on itself. And you might have to wiggle it. Sometimes the piece of paper doesn't want to fold it exactly the way you want it. But it's paper, and you're bigger than it. So you take it by its hand, and you fold it the way you need it to. So right now, as you can see, I've got two little pointy things sticking up here. Doesn't really look like a bird, does it? We should probably make a head. So let's take one. Doesn't matter which side, as long as you have one. We're going to take it, and we're going to fold it back down on itself. And then we just go and squish it. Like you're squishing the bug head. So you've got that. Now, you can make it so that your tail sticks out a little bit farther. And give it a little bit more character. Or you can just leave it right up straight like that. I like to stick it out a little bit more. And then the last thing is take the wings. One wingtip. Two wingtips. I'm going to try this so that my hands aren't in the way. Gently put your finger on the bottom of the base on both sides. And really carefully just kind of spread the wings ever so gently. And voila. You now have a crane. There you go. Alright, had to get another piece of paper for the next one. So, if you thought that one was hard, this one's going to be easy. I'm going to teach you guys how to do the rabbit. Super easy, and this is the one where you need scissors. So we're going to take our colored side, face it down, and because I like the pattern on this, I'm going to keep it down. Otherwise, I could use the other side, obviously. And this one's super easy. We're going to fold it in half, just like we did the last one. We're going to fold it in half in a triangle. Make sure your crease is at the top. Right? You're going to fold it in half. Nice and easy. Make sure it's a nice, tight crease. Right? And then we're going to unfold it. And now you can see where I folded that first one. We're going to take the one flap and we're going to run it along the same side. So I'm going to just do it right quick and then I'll show you what it looks like. So you can see where I folded it. And it's just folded to the middle. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to this side. So, there we go. From a square to a kite. Pretty simple. Alright. The next thing we're going to do is right here where this line goes, we're going to fold this down. Easier said than done, obviously. So make sure it's nice and tight to where this was. This fold here, we're going to fold it down. And then we're going to make a tail. So we're going to take this one and we're going to fold it just a little bit over so that you can see just a little bit of a tail. Because rabbits don't have really long tails, so you don't want a big one. So we're just going to fold it over a little bit so you'll have like this, right? So then when you look at it this side, you just have a little bit of a tail. We're going to take this, we're going to fold it in half so that the tail is tucked in at the bottom there, right? And like I said, always make sure your creases are nice and tight. And then what I'm going to get you to do is make the head. And the big floppy ears, of course. So it doesn't matter how long you want to go. Don't go too much past halfway. But we're going to fold it in half. But we're going to fold it on an angle. So it actually sticks up over the top. So I picked a mark, maybe the 3/4 of the length of my finger. Pick the mark. Give it a little bit of a crease. Not too tight of a crease. But then I want it on an angle. So I take that top mark. And that's where I'm going to bend to make my neck. It just sounds a little weird, but you just kind of play with it. And there's no way you can make it wrong. Doesn't matter how much of an angle. So we're going to do that. Nice and easy. You got this little piece here. Now the fun part is we get to flip this upside down and inside out. So we're going to take our finger and we're going to gently undo this a little bit. And this is the only hard part about this one. You have to flip it in on itself. So we already have the crease. And we just kind of fold it so that it turns inside out. You see that? Now obviously this doesn't look like it should. So we're going to play with the paper a little bit. And make sure it folds in on itself properly. So we're going to tuck this. And we follow the crease that we made earlier. And voila, a bunny rabbit. And the only thing we have left is to cut right here to make the 2 ears. So as you see on this one, I cut down the middle, almost to the bottom of the head. So we're going to cut down all the way to the bottom, and that'll give it ears. Sorry, had to grab my scissors. Went off there. So, doesn't matter how far down, as long as you don't go all the way down to the nose, because otherwise it would look funny. So then you wouldn't have ears and a face. And you can kind of just go like this and gives it a little bit of a separation. Or if you want, you can fold one back on itself, kind of all floppy, and then it kind of looks like a floppy little bunny, and you could do the other side, and then there you go. Now he's a floppy bunny. I like him sticking up though. Looks more natural. And that is the rabbit. There you go. So I'm going to try and do another video tomorrow. I'm going to do the pinwheel. So that's this one here. This one's fun. And the medallion. And the reason I'm going to do the medallion tomorrow is if you do the medallion and you make 6 of them, you can actually make a big decoration and it looks really cool. I actually have them made, I just haven't glued them together. So when I do tomorrow the video, you'll see what it looks like as a ball. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, you can always message me. Yeah, otherwise I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.